is another example. This is another part. So I'm going to using this. This is NAS 100. That is still US on 100. But this is GBE broker. I'm taking this example because somebody used it to send a work. One of you did a work on it and sent it, and I'm going to really look at the best proper way to trade this. Not every time that you have you draw trend line and support and resistance, you'll be able to see a kind of intercept of the confluence, all right, and all that. There are different ways that it happens. So let's take a look at this. First of all, what is the proper place for this trend line? There is just here for trend line, the proper trend line here right now. There is only just one trend line, one adequate trend line here. All right. And that is, let me give you, that is just connecting this point with this point. And good enough, there is enough activity here. All right. So this is the only 2 points that will give you a viable trend line right here. Okay. That is the truth. So let me just go ahead now by trying to get it. All right. Let me delete this. And let's see how we could do that. Let me pick my trend line too. All right. Yeah, grabbing it. I want to put it at the top of the wick and then extend it until it touches this. And then I'm capturing the wick of this, and I swear the body of that, the bearish candle. That's what I want to do. And like I said, you can decide to only capture the wick and the wick alone. It doesn't matter. It still give you similar results. I've told you in one of the videos, the only thing that might be different, if you take a trade, our TP might be different. One person might win more than the other. All right. So that's just the thing. Okay, I just choose to leave it this way. This is the trend that I have. What is important is extending it to this point. All right, extending it this way. That's the only thing important here. All right. So this is the only valid. Okay, let me say viable, because I've told you that this trend line can be valid according to you, but the viable one that will give you the result is what we should look at. So right now, and like I normally say, I can decide to use the points of, the highs of the trend line to construct a future. Okay, maybe let me do this. A future support and resistance. So let me take it like this. Here, a future support and resistance that can help me take a trade in the future. Now it's useless to me because market is very far from it. So let me take the other part of the trend line as well. The other point of the trend line, let me put a support and resistance there. Just for the future purpose, right now it's useless because price is very, very far from it. So until price gets closer, so I'm taking it as a point, or should I take it this way? Or this way? Whatever, let me just leave it at intersection. All right. So these are the two points. Then, but what we consider now is we want to consider this area, the highs and lows, fishing now. Fishing, I have to get started. So we have to consider those areas or highs or lows after these 2 points has formed. So after these 2 points with the point of trend have been formed, here closely, but let's go right from the beginning. After this place formed, we could find, remember what I told you about a gap. Look at this, a gap here. So I'm using both of the gap as, let me pick those ones as my area of support and resistance. So I pick this now, this point now, and the gap, right? So I'm picking it as my 1 point, and then this gap, this one, that's the 2 gap. This is the below gap. This is the upper gap after the market jumped, retreated. So I pick them. Sometimes I take them as TP when the market is coming down. All right. So I pick it. Now, after picking here, do you see what happened here? It coincide with this point, and then with this point, so I'm going to take it at a zone, because if I want to create the size of this zone, let's pick, I'm going to start it from this side, and I come down until it will touch what? The body, all right, the body of the candle there. So that's what I want to do. So let me go and pick my tool, my rectangular tool, and I start it from here until it touches the body here. All right, and take that to be the size of my zone, the size of my zone, let's see. All right, can even extend it to the past if you want. So, but remember that it's the present here that is, so you can see even this point. Okay, this point already have support resistance. So you can see, so this zone, and then now look at this place, it coincide with here. So it's more like breakout and retest. Now, pay attention to this to this point. All right. So this point we can have, if you are just drawing anyhow support and resistance, you see this place is already functioning as area of resistance. All right. And if we want to make it a zone, remember this zone is because of this place is because of the gap. I normally take particular, many people will not take note of that place, that gap, but I normally take that gap as either support or resistance zone or other block. That's what I normally do. So, but if we want to talk about this particular one, this particular support and resistance, so we want to create the size of the resistance, the size. So we can take our this thing and move it from here where we started it and draw it until it touches this point. But because it touched this point, we extend it down as well to the body. To what? To the body of this candle. So we do the same. All right. To the body of this candle, the highest wick. I mean, look at this one. The wick where this one we started. This is where the wick, this big bearish candle. So it's the wick. So we take it down until it touches the body where the wick came from. All right. So now you will notice one thing. This is technical analysis. So guys, you need to be technical enough, because if you are not, you will miss out a point that should help you to grab a trade. So having done that, you see that this zone falls within two zones. This whole zone as a whole falls within two zones. The area of support and resistance represented by this particular horizontal line, and the area of support and resistance represented by this particular horizontal line. That's two horizontal line here, thereby creating another confluence here. So which makes it also a strong confluence. So, but you can see, if we are judging by that now, look at this particular point. Break and retest. Break out what? And retest. Just after our intersection, our trend line. Of course, potentially there is an intersection here, but we don't count it because that's where we started. All right, that can also explain the reason why this breakout and retest was very good. So if you can see that we have an obvious high here, an obvious high, and that obvious high was the zone of that obvious high was where this retested, which means that in this situation, if we already have this before this place came to form, all right. So we already have this obvious high. So you see the confusion of taking a trade that this is a retest here. Look at this particular point. That is a retest here. Let me for now remove this. The size, the rectangular we use as the size of the zone. I know maybe you guys will be saying, man, there is a lot to learn. Of course, there's a lot to learn. That's why I told you guys it's not you just come and you want to use 2 weeks, you want to use papa, you are gone. That is not. So you guys have spent 5 years. I didn't spend 5 years playing. Spend 5 years learning this. I didn't spend it playing. Now proper learning now I do. All right. So now you see this market came and retested here and gave you can see that this is a very fine reversal pattern. This is, of course, evening star, which is correct. All right. An evening star, which is what? Correct. So even if you take this trade here, for you to get winning, you will need to put your SL above we look at this rejection. This rejection here is where you have to put your SL, your stop loss, above this rejection. All right. We are talking about trading it within this time frame, within 4-hour time frame. We're not talking about going for sniper entry. Okay. So you need to put your wick here. And guys, don't worry, we will get to the point where we begin to look specifically for sniper entry. For now, just learn how to take a trade from any time frame where you have your this thing there. We'll talk about that one. That is a separate lesson. All right. So you have to be above here. All right. All right. Or at least above this high here. So we mean that we're waiting for the retest. Or remember what I showed you about the intersection of these two zones. Like that, and this is the obvious high. So if you take your trade here, you are going to put your SL above this rejection. This rejection has already happened before this. All right. Whenever there's a rejection, there is a possibility of price visiting. So you can see when the second one happened, when it came into the rejection, within the rejection, all right, when it came within the rejection and formed a candlestick pattern, there was no coming back until it came back until he was able to take out this low around this zone. All right. That's why I say, guys, it's attention to details. Pay attention to details. Don't just come and you watch my videos and you just watch it like pick the main points. You watch the video that you can remember, so that you can remember everything that discussed, or even talk about it by yourself without looking at the video. You watch the video to the point you can remember every single detail, minor and major details. All right, before you go to practice. That's why you have to watch over and over. That's what it takes. All right, so that you don't forget a whole lot of minor details that affect your trade. All right, your trade entry. All right, so that is one point. Taking this when you want to take this this trade here. If not, you want to wait for a revisit of, all right, this zone, especially in terms of the point where the zone coincide with here. In any case, your SL will have to always be here. If it's here, you'll be able to take this trade from here and hit your TP, which will be this low, around this low. All right. You set your TP around this low, you can see it came to take it. Remember, you are not going so far. You know why? Because you have not had any interception of the point of confluence yet. That's the reason why you cannot actually do that. I don't know if my explanation is making sense. So I've showed you. I'm taking them back now. So you see that the market eventually revisited this particular zone here, eventually revisited it. But any trade you are taking outside, after this high, after this week has been created, your stop loss has to be above this week as far as you are working with this particular time frame. That is because if you are not working on this particular time frame, a lower time frame, you must have this rejection may probably presented you a candlestick pattern that would have helped you to take the trade right from here, so that your TP is going to be above here. If you take it around here and TP above this high, you would have still be getting a better trade and even a better profit. All right, but as far as this time frame is concerned, this is the high, the weak rejection here, that is a determining factor. All right, we're not talking about sniper entry, guys. Right now, we're talking about taking a successful entry using the confluence we're talking about. All right. Remember that sniper entry is for people who don't have much money to cover stop loss, or who don't have much money and they want to manage the money there. That's why I came with. You don't have big account you can trade, so you have to go through sniper entry. For those of you who have enough money, you may not care about sniper entry. All you want to care about is take your trade, fix your stop loss where it's appropriate, and then win your trade at the end of the day. Cash comes in. That's what you care about. Me, I can't tell you that I will leave sniper entry, no matter even if I had $1 trillion that I'm using to trade, I will still trade sniper entry. Guys, I don't know if you understand what I've explained. All right, so here, no need putting, I just try to use, for you to understand how size of zone also work, that you have to put it in your mind. In fact, if I were you, I will always try to determine the size of the zone each time. For now, until you get to the point where I am, where not all size of zone matter to me, but most of the time where I want to take and exit my trade will be the point that will really matter. All right, not intermediate point and things like that. My eye can cover size of most size of the zone. I know what I'm expecting. Okay, so guys, that is the point we want to make with this. All right, so you can continue fishing. All right, you can continue your fishing, like what we are doing. But I was trying to explain based on the work that was sent to me, that I want to take a proper look and make a video. So this is going to be like part 8. I think that should be part 8. All right, so guys, I think we should end it here, and see you another time, while you still keep waiting for points of intersection, and all that, or breakout and retest, or breakout without retest, whatever. Remember, you guys, this is not the only strategy to be traded. Breakout and retest and breakout and all that, they are still important. Unfortunately for here, we do not find point of intersection yet. Maybe in the future we can find. All right, bye guys.